Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
Yeah. Listen, success is whatever you make it. If you want to be happy, you want to provide for your family. You gotta put that work in, man. You gotta go get
Learn,
it. See, listen, this is what I tell them.
serve,
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals.
inspire.
I go out and I go get it. How to go,
You're in the
that's
right
all I know.
place.
I don't
You're
succeed
checking
if I
out
don't breathe.
Chip
Success,
Baker,
what does it
the
mean?
Success
If I
Chronicles.
conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. Today, we are here with Coach Tim Bowens, a great man. I've been blessed and fortunate to achieve some really neat things throughout his career, and I'm so excited to have him on this episode. So first off, thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles.
Thank you, Chip, for having me. I'm excited to be here with you today. Looking forward to gaining some knowledge myself.
Well, let's go. Let's get it,
Let's do
Coach.
it. Yes, sir.
Well, I know off air we talked about your life story, but if you don't mind sharing your story with the audience and tracking your story till now.
Well, I'm a father. I'm a husband. It's foremost in the front of everything, and try my best to be a man of faith, and I try to raise my children and train them the way that they should go. My wife, I'm very fortunate to have a beautiful wife, Keisha. Before we got married, I'll share this quick story. Before we got married, I said, "Are you sure you want to marry a coach? Because you know what it entails. There's a lot of moving in this thing." And she said, "Well, that's what I'm used to." Well, our father played professional baseball, so they lived in Texas, Philadelphia. I mean, they kind of lived a little bit everywhere. So she was like, "That's what I'm used to." So we got married, and we've been at this journey now. This year will be 20 years. Together we have 4 kids, and so she's been a blessing. She's a great head coach's wife. I knew one day she would be. She's in education as well. She's taught. She's been a reading specialist. We left one job and went to another job, and she was slated to be the principal at the place. And superintendent got on me, said, "Man, you messed up my plans." And but I'll say this, she's a teacher, an educator, administrator at heart. So that tells you, I definitely married up, and I'm a blessed man. So that's kind of my deal. And then in the coaching world, I was a student assistant coach, played at the University of Alabama, was a student assistant coach there. After I finished playing, left there, went to Coffee High School, where I was offensive coordinator for 2 years, head football coach at Tanner High School, coordinated both sides of the ball at a small school there, and then went back to my alma mater at the University of Alabama, where I was director of high school relations and assistant football operations and receivers coach with the receivers coach Torrey Patel, and I got to go on the field and coach receivers a couple games. Did that and then left there, went to UAB. I was at UAB for 5 seasons, and then went to Samford University. Was there for 2 seasons with Pat Sullivan. Pat Sullivan's Heisman Trophy winner. Was at TCU. Left there, went to South Alabama, where Joy Jones was the head coach, and start a program that was kind of new and rolling as well. And after South Alabama, went to Georgia State with Sean Elliott there, and then after that, now head football coach at Clark Atlanta University.
That's awesome. Such a great journey of making a positive difference.
Definitely trying to. I believe that, and I share this all the time. I talk to my coaches about purpose, and we talk to our players about it as well. And usually, when I ask a coach or somebody, hey man, why should I hire you? Why should you be with me, or what have you? If it's not along the lines of making a difference and being a change agent and making an impact, it's going to be hard for me to hire you, because at the end of the day, I want difference makers in my program as coaches and as people. So, I want to be that. I want to make sure I'm trying to exemplify that on a day-to-day basis. And that's kind of my thread.
That's awesome. Well, what are 3 things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Well, first, I would probably say the fact that, getting married, I tell you, sometimes you say, well, how's that accomplishment? Not just getting married, but also fighting through adversity in my marriage. There's a lot that comes with that. I think that's a proud moment for me, and continue to be proud for me due to the things that I'm supposed to do in life to make sure that I'm representing my family well. But I always say this right here: I can tell a lot about you as a person when I look at your wife. When I get a chance to spend some time with her, I can tell a lot about you as a coach. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that, when people see her and they ask her to come speak, some just as much as they ask me to come speak. So that's a proud moment for me. My children, that's a proud, because, at the end of the day, I don't know, their GPA is so much, I can't even, my GPA, I multiply it times 3 or 4, it don't even come close to theirs. It ain't even close. So
that's awesome.
I talked to my son, who's a freshman at the University of Alabama. He had like a 4.3, 4.4 GPA before he went to school. And I was like, how did you get something to pass a 4.0? I don't even know how to do that,
Yeah.
And so, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. So you say, well, how's that your accomplishment? Well, because we just try to make sure we stayed on top of them and train them the way that they should go, and then try to help them and show them that education was important in our household. And that would be the second thing I'd say that I'm proud of. And then the third thing I'll say I'm proud of is I've never been on the job in a day of my life. I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and I feel like I've never been on a job in a day of my life. I feel like I've done my work, and I've been on an assignment every single day. So that tells me that, I enjoy what I do every single day. I feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose where I'm at. And so for me, that's a proud moment to know that I can go in and enjoy every single day. And then obviously doing it now with the people that I'm around, it makes it great. My stepfather said this right here. He'd been detailing cars for about 23 years of his life. And he heard me make that statement one time, like, I was like, I love going to work every day. That's what you call it, work. I said, I get to go develop young men. I get to go do this. I get to go do that. And he goes and washes cars and gets his feet wet every day and makes a living, does a great job. People call him all over and want to they pay a lot of money for him to take care of his car. And he literally was like, man, this been doing this for 23 years, man. I'm sick of this. Last 10 years been tough. And I'm saying like to myself, man, would I ever want to be in anything like that?
Yeah.
Ever. And so I'm blessed. I'm proud to say that, man. I'm trying to walk in the vein where I'm supposed to be in. And I think when you do that, you're able to have a sense of joy about what you do every day. And just like yourself, I'm pretty sure that, man, all of a sudden 21 years go by like that. And you're like, man, was that just 8 years or what? And I've been doing this thing for, right at 20, about the same amount of time, about 20, 21 years. And, it's since 2000. We've been rolling since 2000 this spring.
Yeah.
And so, man, I tell you, it's been a blessing for us.
It's good stuff. Definitely a great story. Definitely, some awesome things to be proud of, and I would consider hugely successful. So let's hit on success. What's your definition of success?
That's a great question, because I think sometimes we get that thing confused with numbers. We attach a number to it. We attach a dollar sign to it. We attach a lot of things to it. I think success has a lot to do with fulfilling your purpose and fulfilling what you should do, and about maximizing your potential. That's what I think success is. I really try to, I love the word success, but I try to make my guys make sure they're chasing significance more than success. And I think the success will follow when they chase the significance. So success can come with that, and will come with that. And part of our vision and our direction that we've casted a vision for our program. And in that vision, we try to teach them what vision means, and vision being something like faith, something that you can't see, but you can see it internally. It's something that we talk about all the time. the opposite of faith is sight. You know, the opposite of faith is sight. You know, if I can see it, I don't have faith in it. And the same thing, sometimes vision's the same way. I can't really see myself there right now today physically, but I believe it and I sense it in my heart, and I have a vision that's been given to me that I can get to that place. And so part of our vision has the word success in it, or success. And it's to be disciplined, successful, significant champions, leading, pursuing purpose. And if you ever look, and we take our vision and we teach our guys about every facet of it. And in that word success is part of it. And most of those guys, those young men, when you sit down and you talk to them about the word success, I'll ask them a simple question. I said, if you make $1 million next year, are you successful? Some of them will say, yeah. Some of them will be like, no, coach, I'm not successful. That doesn't mean that I am successful. A bunch of them will say, yeah, I'm successful, coach. I probably have reached my goal and making $1 million. And I said, okay, let's. I was like, all right, 10 million. Definitely successful, coach. I said, well, how do you know that just because you make $1 million or 10 million, you're successful? And so I get them to think, and I tell them all the time, you know, I've still a lot of stuff. I don't want to teach you what to think, but how to think. And so, you know, for those who said, coach, just because I made $1 million or I have $1 million does not mean that I am successful. And because it does not mean that you maximize your potential. It does not mean that you fulfilled your purpose. It does not mean that you've done exactly what God's created you to do just because you made $1. You know, you could be making that and be very miserable. My stepfather was making at one point, he does it for a company, but at one point he was doing it on his own. He was doing very well. He was making twice as much if he worked for the car dealership on his own. And in most people's eyes, he was deemed successful. And we would, me, my brothers, and my mother, we'd all work with him, you know. And I mean, every one of my brothers played college football. You know, all of us signed with the University of Alabama, you know, which is rare in most places. But so you look at that and you say, man, we learned how to work, you know. But in his eyes, you know, even though he made money, and heck, we went through bankruptcies and everything, but in his mind, he does not deem himself successful because he is not fulfilled every single day. So success has to do with fulfillment, to me, and maximizing you, and you know, and I believe that when you start looking at that thing and you start breaking it down and you start giving guys examples of what success is and what success may look like or might not look like, and attach it with money, because that's usually what a lot of times what gets them thinking with our young men. So we try to define it. We try to define everything in our program and what we do. So I try to make sure that they understand that success had a lot to do with you maximizing your potential and you walking in your purpose.
That's good stuff, Coach. I wholeheartedly believe in all of that. You know, I was trying to be respectful and listen, but I wanted to give you some of the sound effects, like ooh. Good. Speaking short sentences, like man. Good. But it's good stuff, Coach. Thank you so much. Good. Now, what I want to do now is I want to hit you with 3 words or phrases, and you know, as I say each one of those, if you don't mind, can you just talk about what comes to mind when you hear the words or phrase? And it could be a word, it could be a phrase, it could be a concept that you have, but just from hearing your story and hearing you talk about the things, these are some things that came up to me. So all right, so the first one is sports and life.
It is definitely a correlation, I would say, a correlation in sports and life. It teaches you about adversity. It teaches you about life. I shared this the other day. I did an interview, and it was a Marriage Monday. Me and my wife were doing an interview with a pastor and a first lady, and they called us up and asked us to come on and do a deal with them. And so we did the interview, and I told them in that interview, I said, the thing about sports and the thing about football, this taught me how to face adversity and to be able to accomplish things when it's tough, to be able to go through some things and go through some hardship. I said, that's what sports did for me. So sports and life has a correlation to me. And so when I look back over some things that I learned from a coach, because some of it I didn't get to learn it at home until after the fact. That, we went through that as a family, man. That was a tough situation. It made me more mentally tough, but I was able to understand that a lot more with sports because that's what was being taught in the game of sports. And whether it was basketball, football, I coached basketball before, track, I've done all of that. And you're able to learn life lessons in the game of sports. And I'm very fortunate that I've done that. And, and I try to get my kids, my kids are most academia. My wife, she graduated summa cum laude. I graduated, thank you, Lord. So, that they all kind of gravitate to her world, except for the youngest one. But, I like for them to be able to experience. I want them to be able to experience that at times because of what I was able to gain from that and how I was able to navigate life through sports.
Love it. All right. The second one is impact.
Impact, man, I tell you, a game changer. I tell you, when I hear the word impact, I think about partially, we talk about, I say partially, but wholeheartedly, we talk about why we do what we do, as coaches. And if you're not in it to make an impact, go do something else. If you don't love your players, go do something else.
Yeah.
If you're not truly made, and too many of the players coaches in the profession are in it for themselves. At the end of the day, it ain't to make an impact and to make a difference. It's to make a name. It's to make money. It's to make a living. I would never hire somebody to make a living. I would hire somebody to make an impact, bro, as a head football coach. I will never hire you to make a living. A young man came and walked in my building here at Clark Atlanta University. Coach, I need to make a living. I just need a job. I got to provide for my family. And right then he turned me off. And I told him, I said, man, I want you to go and think about what God's called you to do and what purpose that you're supposed to be. And I said, because right now I would not hire you because you're trying to make a living. I said, I will hire you because you want to make an impact. You want to make a difference. I said, so, man, I mean, you seem like somebody who's passionate about wanting to coach and know some things and played at the highest level. I said, but, to me, if you want to make an impact and make a difference, I would have probably said, man, this guy I need to really look at. I said, but I couldn't bring you in this program because I want to make an impact here. I want to make a difference. We're going to change the culture here. I got hired to change it. I have to have agents of change in this building with me to do that. And to do that, you got to be an impact player. So impact. When I hear that word, man, you can't. I got to make a living. I got to do that. Coach Dave feed my. No, make a difference. Make an impact. And you know what? That money will follow you.
It's awesome. All right, and the last one. I'm gonna pause a little bit before this one because this gets the good one right here.
Okay, come on.
Let's go. No, the last one is legacy.
Oh, wow. Love
it.
Love it. I tell you, the thing that we all want to do is leave a legacy. And you think about your last name, just think about your last name. Don't think about anything else, but think about your last name. What do you want to leave when that name, or what is said when that name is being said? There's a legacy that you have left when you play. There's a legacy that's left when you coach. There's a legacy that's left in your family. And what does it mean that they remember you? They're not going to remember your records. I mean, I can tell you about Randall Cunningham, or I can tell you about some of these other people as players, but I can't tell you any of their stats. I can't. I don't keep up with stats. Right? Yeah. But what I can tell you about is their legacy. Well, what does that mean? The impact that they made, the difference that they made, and the stories that came with those type of people. But Reggie White, I can't tell you his stats, how many sacks he had, but I can tell you some of the stories and things that he did along the way to say that he left a legacy. All right. So when I hear the word legacy, I think about my children. I think about my family. I think about what am I leaving to the next generation? What am I giving to my players so that when they have children, because they're going to be fathers, some of them are already fathers. Some of them are already fathers. And at the end of the day, when my time is up at CAU, my time is up in this life, you know, I've got to be held accountable for what I did. And so when I leave that legacy, I'm going to say, man, did I leave a blueprint? And was that blueprint? And because what happens sometimes is we do a good thing, but do we do the right thing? And so the person who does the right thing will be the person who leaves the deepest and hardest, the hardest legacy to come behind. So the legacy that you live and how you stand every single day, I'm telling you, if you can just I got one rule, be in the right place, doing the right things. It helps with everything. And I don't just live by rule, but I live by vision. And I say this all the time to our players, you know, guys, if you can operate and you can go towards your vision every single day, you'll leave a great legacy. And your legacy is going to always be remembered by not just your effort, but your attitude. Your attitude is your mindset. If you ever look up your mindset, it's about thinking. So your attitude and your mindset is what people will always remember, because how you approach a thing, whether it's a small thing, is how you're going to approach everything. So you approach the small thing like you approach everything. So as you go forth every single day, you know, everything matters, attention to detail, you know what, and you will leave a great legacy.
Amazing, Coach.
Good.
And I surely appreciate it again. Before we get off, if you don't mind sharing with the audience where they can go follow you and check you out, and check out your program and see the amazing things that you guys are doing, if you don't mind sharing that.
Well, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter and all of that at Tim Bowens, at _ Tim Bowens. I'm on. You can find me. Just look me up. Head football coach at Clark County University. We kind of all over. We try to make sure we're very visible. But at the end of the day, my phone number, everything, email, all that's on the website. So it's not hard to find me. But I will say this. You know, we. At CAU, we got there about a year ago, and we got hired to change a culture. And then going into this program, I understood, and it was something I can't tell you why or what. I mean, I just got a pay raise basically before I went to go take this job. And I said this to you before. I've never taken a job for money ever, and I just got a pay raise. Was going to be able to get an opportunity to stay right there at Georgia State and not leave to go somewhere else. And man, something was just tugging me, say, go, you know, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And even in the process of being here, you know, we didn't win the games we wanted to win. But something was saying, stay, you're not finished yet. And so, man, I don't just jump. I'm not a jumper. I don't do that. And we've seen the turnaround that we've been doing here on campus, and it's not shown in the record just yet, but you can see it in the men's heart. And what's going to happen is, you know, some people say, and for us, we've been taking in more high school kids than we have what they've been doing in the past. They've kind of taken more transfer. And when I first got there, there's 3 offensive linemen that practiced in the spring with us when I first got there. 3. Can you imagine going into a spring football practice and there's 3 offensive linemen sitting out there and about 6 defensive linemen? That was it. Now, I had some skilled kids everywhere, but there was only 3 offensive linemen. And so I knew I had to balance a roster. I knew I had to change the culture, the mind, the thought process that was there. And we had some good kids, had kids that worked hard and all that, but very emotional, bad body language football team is what I saw. And so in order to, one of my mentors, he said this, and it sticks with me very wholeheartedly. I don't want to just have a good team or even a great team. I want to have a great program. And I want to do that by continually building the people. And so we've taken on the task of building our people in our program. So as we build the people in our program, we believe that you're going to see what people are going to deem as success, and they're going to see from the record standpoint. Because a lot of people put up their success as part of the record. And that's how we get measured as a coach. I mean, it is what it is. We get measured. And then they say the word success. But I tell people all the time, I said, how can you go win championships, but your players never come back to you when they get ready to get married? Say, come to my wedding, coach. To me, that ain't success. Well, how about when he wins a championship and he doesn't get his degree? That ain't success to me. How about he even wins a championship, but he doesn't learn how to fight through adversity and be a champion in life? And so, you know what, when divorce or anything hits his family or his faces in, man, he walks away from it because he didn't learn how to be a champion, but he wins the champion. He got a ring, you know. And I got rings. I got all kinds of rings over here in this little case. All right. But did I become a champion in life? Did I become a better person? I can win all kinds of championships. I can have what they deem to say success says in the record and in the championship with the ring on. But have I left here a better person? And have I learned to lead? You know, too many times people leave programs, they leave places, they leave you, they leave me or whatever. Have we impacted them enough to want to lead, to learn to lead? So I would leave that, and that's kind of what you get when you get in our program. What we call our way and how we do things, and every coach that's with me, most every one of them have been with me somewhere else. And a lot of them had opportunities to go coach other places and believe that they're supposed to be right here where we're at right now. So that's kind of where we're at. And that's what you would have if you came to see, if anybody would come to CAU to see what we're doing and how we're going to develop individuals in every area of their life, reaching and maximizing their full potential, spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, socially, relationally, because we know in this profession there's a lot of broken young men that come in here and try to play the game. And they come and play the game, and then they go out there in life and they're still broken. You have broken players and they become broken coaches. Broken players, they become broken a bank teller, you know, and they continue to carry that into their families. So I want them to be complete. I want to try to help them be whole as I can as a man. And so that's our charge that we try to do for our young men.
Well, good stuff, Coach. Again, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles and sharing those nuggets.
I hope so, man.
Yes, sir. And I wish you continued success.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Take care.
All right. And thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Go get it.